On this month of the Glint Standard, we're talking to our newest employee, Irvin Olan. He's in business development. He's a really fun guy, and he's going to be perfect for the job. Let's get to know him. Are you nervous at all?
No.
You're ready? You're
Not
ready
anymore.
to go?
I'm ready now.
Okay. Well, if you're ready to go, then I guess my first question, and this might be a little like maybe I don't have the best questions, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Irvin, and I am fluent English and Spanish. I have a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and I do have over 10 years of cross-industry experience. And yeah, that's a little bit about me on my professional side.
When you say 10 years of cross-industry experiences, I mean, I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
You know, you getting introduced to everybody. You know, I'm going to these meetings with you. You're working in business development now. You're trying to be, you know, the sales guy for Glint. What are some of the, you know, the cooler jobs where it's like, oh, Irvin did that?
Yeah.
You know, because I know, you know, spoiler alert, I don't want to answer the question for you, but I know you worked at Unity One, a credit union, when you were very young,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and you know, if people look at my LinkedIn,
Yeah.
the one thing that they won't know about me is I'm Mexican American, not Filipino. Just want to put it out there. No, my first job was at Joe T. Garcia. I was about 15 years old. And then from that, I moved to as a retail associate at JCPenney. I was still in high school around that time. And I believe I was like 16 then. And I received like a postcard, you know, like a little advertisement.
Yeah, like in the mail.
Yeah, and it was from Unity One. And fun fact, it was from Arena. It was from Arena, and it was just an invitation to be part of Unity One's teen advisory board. And a little bit about that, you know how in high school, like there's a lot of programs, like, you know, where people or students get to be part of, like, you know, the president or such and such.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I didn't fit in any of those, you know, aspects. So I went ahead and tried to seek out for something more like real life kind of, you know, organizations, groups. And I think this was a perfect time because, you know, around that time when you're in high school, you have to start thinking and planning ahead. If you're going to college, what are you going to do in college, stuff like that. And I just showed up in that invitation on the time and date, and that's where I began to be part of the teen advisory board at Unity One. And thereafter, I believe I was like 17, 3 months before I was going to turn into 18, and I got hired at Unity One as a teller. And so I have also financial institution background, and that's what I mean about, like, you know, cross industry experience. And I did learn how to do sales as a teller there. I think that whenever, you know, for instance, when somebody would come in and they would put their keys, you know, their car keys right there, the first thing I would say would be like, oh, I see that you drive a Lexus. When was the last time you purchased this car, or are you planning to refinance it? Those are little small sales tactics, you know, that nobody showed me. It just came up to me. And I think that was, you know, when I realized I was good in sales.
Yeah. One thing that, you know, getting to know you, and something that you had said during that was that you didn't feel like, you know, the student council route was your way.
Yeah.
But one thing with all these stories that I've heard is that you find your way.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people don't. You know, you say student council is not for me, but you knew you wanted to do something. And you wanted to be on the teen advisors board.
Yeah.
You know, that opportunity showed up, and you used that opportunity.
Yeah.
You didn't waste it. And even you do, you know, something. You know, maybe I'm getting off my questions and stuff, but one thing that I also think is really cool about to get to know you and stuff is when you you moved to California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and all of that stuff, and how you worked in hospitality in there too, and how you're good with you're good with people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's kind of led you here to Glint.
Yeah.
I guess taking all that back, if you wanted to talk about your trip to California
Yeah.
and stuff, you could. But I'll ask you a question. Okay. How would you describe your approach to the working environment? Maybe one or two words, or I mean, you can elaborate that. But because that was kind of my thing that I see is that you have a strategy for yourself in all of your endeavors. And we're glad to have you at Glint, and you bring that energy. But how would you describe that?
It sounds like the question I've been asked because most of my experience is project managing, and if I can describe project managing in one word, I would say coordinating.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can apply coordinating into any industry, especially here too. I think that on the business development side, and I kind of don't like to use business development, but I would say like it's more like relationship building. And I feel like me moving to California, it literally taught me a lot. And I'm not, bad mouthing, Texas or anything, but I feel like Texas is my home, my comfort zone. And in order for me to expand my horizons and also my emotional intelligence, I think me moving to California was the bravest thing I've ever done, because I didn't have mommy, I didn't have daddy, I had a brother, siblings to help me when it came to like real life situations. Not only that, but going back to the cross industry, like I did a lot of hospitality in California, and I think that a lot of people don't take hospitality, like working in the food and beverage department, they don't take it seriously, like a server, a bar back, a bartender. But honestly, hospitality is universal, and that's a customer experience. And I think that's what relationship building is all about.
I would say, because you have worked a lot of jobs, and that's I think that's a good sign of a good salesman, is that you're not industry specific.
Yeah.
One of my questions I was going to ask you was, what advice would you give to someone getting into the advertising industry? But I think your answer of, what was it? Coordination.
Yeah.
I think the advice that you could give to someone wouldn't even be about advertising specifically.
Well, if I want to advertise something, is don't be shy. I think that you have to feel confident, is all about confidence. But the one thing that I learned is rejection. And I think we all need to go through all that, because when you go through rejection, like door to door, I think that's very important. We all need to do door to door at some point and learn, rejection. But after that, you just shake it off and you just keep going, and you'll feel at ease anywhere you go. So if anything, I would give my advice to anyone who's going towards the business development side or relationship, it's all about not being shy. It's all about being confident, and just, you're meeting new people, you're networking, so I think that's something I would say.
Okay, now we'll get, we've heard from you a little bit, and you have a billion stories.
Yeah.
I've heard them all. It's like every time it's like, oh yeah, he did do door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
He did this. He worked here. He knows all the stuff, right? And I think that is good for the agency. I appreciate your insight on being able to be like, well, whenever I worked in this industry,
Yeah.
this was important. And I think bringing that perspective is good, because sometimes, us marketers, we can get, maybe it's, I don't know if it's cyclical, there's some word.
Yeah.
We can get in our own mind, and having that experience, I think, is really good, because it also allows you to relate to those clients more.
Yeah.
And that is business development.
Very true.
But I'm gonna change it now. because advertisers are whatever the word is.
Oh,
We got to talk about advertising a little bit, right? Okay. Have you noticed any like new trends maybe? Like when you're scrolling your phone, you're like, oh, that's an interesting ad. I'm just, this might be a curveball, but have you noticed any trends that might that you think, oh, maybe we can implement that, or maybe our watchers should be implementing that too?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I've been coming across, there's a lot of AI now.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to marketing or advertising, digital marketing, I feel a lot of companies are getting too comfortable with utilizing that, and that's fine. That's okay. But I think what Glint would like to give to all of our clients is that human touch. We don't like to forget, that yes, AI could be very easy and comfortable to use, but I feel like this is how distinguishes us from other marketing firms or agencies. But it's definitely the AI for sure.
I'd love to just add on to that. You see things like nowadays with the holidays coming up, there's classic commercials that will be made. I'm just going to use an example like Coke. Coca-Cola has yet again for another time, they did it last year, their whole, little Christmas holiday time or advertisement is AI.
Yeah.
And you can tell. And this is the thing, is that there's the saying that there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Which is true for a company like Coca-Cola.
Correct.
They're the kings, But those other people that are down and lower, if I'm going past a restaurant and there's a poster on their wall and it's AI, yeah, I appreciate that you're doing it, but it also is like, even you, like, I want to know, you're a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
I want to know about mom and pop.
Yeah.
Like that's what but it depends.
Yeah.
If you're at the very top, I mean, AI is here, but that's what Glint could give.
I think Coca-Cola is a very good example. Another one that I think sometimes when it's the Super Bowl, a lot of us like to watch the commercials, and now these commercials this year, they're also AI, and you could tell right away too. But on the Coca-Cola side, like, I was telling Jonathan that I remember, because I'm a millennial, you guys, the Coca-Cola commercial that I've always remember, it was like just simple and short. It was like 3 palms, and then one of the lights would like glow, and it was always around Christmas time. And now, like, the commercials or, like, the ads are more, not human touch, if that makes sense.
It doesn't stick in my brain.
Yeah.
I remember specific ads, but I see AI and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me that touch. Maybe it's not, maybe it's not for me anymore. Maybe it's these ads, the up and coming kids will remember that, but I don't know. I'm not sure. It's an interesting conversation, but I just, we had to talk about advertising for a second. We got to get some key takeaways or whatever.
It's not all about me, you guys.
Oh, it's all about you. This is your podcast.
Hi, I'm Irvin, and I'm the new face of the company.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Whoops.
But I think we're around that time, where we've kind of wrapped up.
Yeah.
I do, you came in, you said, I got a joke, okay? And it's your spicy water. You didn't mention it the whole time.
I know. I just want to let everyone know that I'm drinking spicy water. All right?
Yeah.
I want to make that very clear.
What's spicy water?
It's just Topo Chico,
Topo Chico.
sparkling water. Because it is spicy, right?
Yeah.
But you guys should try it. It's all about advertising your brand.
Yeah. But okay, I think that was I don't know if there's anything. Do you have anything more to say? You
No,
want to tell?
this was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but I feel like now that you started and everything, I feel like it was just, why am I nervous? And I know that I'm giving examples like, hey, don't be shy, but it's all about like, when it comes to business development, don't be shy when you're around the clients. Just be confident and just let it go, And I feel like that's what happened to me. And like, I'm not nervous anymore, but I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's freaking out.
Yeah.
2 seconds before we
I
recorded.
was crying.
Pass out, bro. I saw it.
I wanted a shot. I'm just kidding.
But okay, that's the Glint Standard. I hope you guys liked it. Go watch it. If you're listening to it, you're listening to it on your podcast platform.
I have something to say. I have
Okay.
a confession to make.
Okay.
All right. I haven't followed Glint on Instagram, and I think this is a perfect time.
You're fired.
Yeah. I want everyone who's watching to just do the same thing with me. Like, go right now and go follow Glint. And I feel bad, but Craig is probably gonna hear about this, but I'm following right now. And then what else? Like LinkedIn,
Yeah,
Facebook.
LinkedIn. You can find both of
YouTube.
us on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We're being really active. Everything. If you are listening to this podcast, we love to hear whatever you have to say. You can talk to me about your cat or whatever. But okay, that's it. That's it for the whole Glint Standard. My name's Jake. This is
I'm Irvin.
Irvin.
Yes.
Yeah. And I hope you liked his story. And we're very happy to have him here at Glint. All right. Thanks.
Deuces.
If you like this episode of the Glint Standard, make sure to hit the subscribe button and look at all these other videos right here.